Good morning, dear students and dear colleagues. Welcome to our today's seminar about Unit 3 for 9th graders. Before we start, let me introduce my colleagues who participate in the seminar. Mr. Hussam Al-Mahmoud, an English teacher from Tartus Directorate. Welcome, Mr.
Welcome.
Ms. Nagam Al-Muhammad, English teacher from Tartus Directorate. Welcome, Miss.
Welcome, thanks.
And me, Lucia Karim, an English supervisor from Aleppo Directorate. Before we start, dear students, you can, of course, call and participate in our seminar and ask your questions about Unit 3. And if you've got any general questions about the whole course, we are ready to answer you. Let us start with the unit plan. As we know that we've got in each unit certain parts that constitute the whole unit as main skills, reading, writing, speaking, and listening, and the sub-skills as vocabulary, grammar, and of course we've got the sub-skills that we've got here with Mr. Hussam. You can start now.
Okay, as you have said previously, the unit plan of the lesson, Unit 3 in the book, is divided into main skills and sub-skills. The main skills are the four main skills, which are speaking, listening, reading, and writing. For the sub-skills, we have got vocabulary and we have grammar and pronunciation. Okay, in speaking, we are going to discuss pictures. In reading, we are going to read for gist and detailed understanding. In vocabulary, we are going to study related vocabulary related to the text. In grammar, we are going to discuss the grammar of future, or the rule of future, using be going to plus will. In listening, we are going to listen to two people talking about the future. In pronunciation, we are going to discuss or to learn about two vowels, one short vowel which is a, and the other is long, which is a. In writing, we are going to talk about how to write a paragraph about one's life in 20 years' time.
Okay, and we can see on the screen the unit plan. Yes, please, on the screen. Yes, speaking, reading, next vocabulary, which are related to the text, grammar as be going to and will, and listening between two people, pronunciation as Mr. Hussam said, short and long E, and writing a paragraph about one's life in 20 years' time. Let's start with speaking as discussing pictures with Ms. Nagam.
Okay, thank you. Of course, for speaking, we have two pictures. The first one is an e-book, and the second is a flying car. And we have some questions related to these two pictures. Do you think there will be robots everywhere? Of course, students' answers may vary. They give their own opinion about this. We may just give them suggestions. So, do you think there will be robots everywhere? Yes, there will be everywhere, at home, at schools, at factories, everywhere, and for every aspect of our life. What will these robots be able to do? They'll be able maybe to do the housework, maybe at home I mean, maybe they'll be able to drive cars or even to fly planes. In every field in life there will be something to do for them.
And do you think, Ms. Nagam, here by this discussion at the beginning of the unit, we can see that students just make a kind of brainstorming and
Yes.
just activating their previous knowledge about the topic itself?
Yes, yes, of course. Now, question number 3, are e-books better than traditional ones, and why? Of course, this question varies a lot from one person to another, but we are just giving suggestions. Maybe we can say yes, because it's easier to carry with you wherever you like. It's on your laptop or on your mobile phone, and you don't need to carry a book with you.
And so, today you're using e-book.
Yes, now I'm using also, yes, the e-book. So maybe it's easier, and it's available wherever you are. Do you think there will be flying cars in the future? Yes, for sure. I think there will be flying cars in the future.
Who knows?
And yes, who knows? What will their advantages be? Of course, flying cars will be something like a plane and a car. So when there is, for example, crowded streets, they can fly at a faster speed, and of course they make distances shorter, and they shorten the time of journeys, and they also reduce the crowds in the streets. Yes.
So by this discussion, students now know that we are going to talk about future.
Future, yes.
So now the reading text is about life in the future. Mr. Hussam, can you give us a brief idea about the text itself and what is the purpose of reading? When students got a reading skill, what is the purpose of reading first, and then give us a main idea about the text.
The main purpose of reading is for the student to comprehend the text. And in reading, we have many techniques. We can read for scanning, for skimming, or for details. Here we are going for these three targets. We are going for scanning, for skimming, and for details, because we are going to do many tasks after reading the text. For our text
So we
today,
read for comprehension.
yes,
here.
for comprehension in the main place. Life in the future will be very different. Futurologists predict that life will probably be very different in all the fields of activity, from entertainment to technology. Some people have imagined that life in the future would be so easy and relaxing, while others have seen that it would be worse and more difficult. I think that in the future we will have a more comfortable life. This will be obvious in all aspects of life. First, as for education, people will have better education because of technology. E-books will replace traditional books. Robots will replace teachers, and students will not have to go to schools every day, as they will study at home through online teaching. So even absent students will learn. Second, health will improve. Technology will also play a very important role in that. New medicines will help people get better. Robots will help doctors and sometimes replace them. Add to that, scientists and researchers are going to find cure to many diseases like AIDS and cancer, so people will live longer. Third, housing problems will end. People will build houses everywhere, so everyone will have a place to live in. Fourth, hunger will stop all over the world because people will grow new types of crops everywhere, even on the top of buildings. Fifth and last, world peace is going to spread because of all the previous aspects. The world will have nothing to fight for. Everyone will have education, health, home, and food. So everyone will be happier and love will be everywhere.
Thank you, Mr. Hussam. Now we've got keywords about the text.
Yes, the main words or the keywords that we have to study is, the first one is futurologist.
Futurologist.
Yes, futurologist.
What does this word mean?
Someone who forecasts the future based on existing conditions. The second word is predict, to say that something will happen in the future. The third, aspects, which means areas or fields. The next word is replace, take the place of. The verb improve means make something better. And the last word is crops, which are plants grown by farmers as food.
So these words highlights the
They are
meaning
highlighted, yes.
of certain words in the text.
Exactly.
And help the students to just understand the idea of the text, and of course make a kind of help or aid in just skimming or scanning the text.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Hussam.
Welcome.
Yes, Ms. Nagam, please. Now we are going to do the purpose of reading,
Yes.
which is comprehension, and now answer the following question.
Okay, shall I start with the
Yes,
first
please.
one?
The first question.
Okay, how does the writer see the future? Of course, he thinks that the future we will have, in the future we will have a more comfortable life.
So he thinks that in the future we will have a more comfortable life. Thank
yes.
you. The next one.
Mention two things that will make education better, only two things. So people will have better education because of technology, e-books will replace traditional books, and robots will replace teachers.
Thank you.
Number three, will people live longer in the future and why? Yes, new medicines, yes, because new medicines will help people get better and robots will help doctors and even sometimes take their place. Add to that, scientists and researchers are going to find cure to many diseases that exist now, like AIDS and cancer. So yes, people will live longer in the
we
future.
hope so. We
Yes,
hope
we
so.
hope so, of course, yes. Question number 4. How will hunger stop all over the world? People will grow crops, will grow new types of crops everywhere, even on the top of buildings.
Thank you.
Number 5, will people live peacefully and why? Yes, people in the future will live peacefully because the world or the people of the world will have nothing to fight for. They have everything they need, so everyone will have education, health, home, and food.
And actually, when everyone gets his first or essential things that he needs, so I've got education, health, home, and food, so what shall I do? There is nothing to fight for.
Yes. Think of one more aspect about life in the future. Of course, students can give different aspects. Maybe they can say that in the future there will be no hospitals in the traditional sense. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what will happen in the future.
Actually, this kind of question activates the
Yes.
critical thinking
Of course.
for the students, that they need to just think and give their ideas and give maybe creative things.
That's it. And especially when they talk about the future, nobody can judge their
Yeah.
thinking because it depends on their imagination. And really, nobody predicts or can predict for sure what will happen in the future.
In the future,
So yes, this will have a great field to think about.
And it depends on their imagination and
course, of
creativity.
course.
Thank
They
you.
may talk about metaverse.
Yeah.
Yes, whatever.
Yeah. Metaverse.
Whatever they
Yeah.
like.
Next, match the following words with their meanings. Yes, Ms. Nagam.
Okay, number 1, the word obvious. Of course, the B is silent here. The word obvious, it means be clear. Absent, number 2, absent, it means not present. This is D. Number 3, peace, it means the opposite of war. When you don't fight, okay? It's the opposite of war, and it is A, traditional, it means old, C.
And here it's clear that when students can comprehend text, they can do this
Yes,
exercise.
and a piece of advice for all students, when they want to memorize the new vocabulary, they don't need to memorize them like this. Old means, traditional, old means old, etc. This is a difficult way to remember the words. It's better to remember the new words for them in context. When they, for example, from the text, they reread the text more than once or twice, so they remember the meaning of the sentence which the word was in, then they remember the meaning of the word, and it's easier for
And
them
these
to memorize.
synonyms help them
Yes.
to understand the meaning or
That's
the
it,
exact
yes.
meaning of the
course,
word
of
in
course.
English.
So they will remember for a longer term if they try to study this way.
So it's better to understand the words from the
From the
context
context,
itself.
from the sentence and the text.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Ms. Nagam.
much.
Thank you. Next, vocabulary. Now, Mr. Hussam, we are going to talk about vocabularies that are related to the text.
Okay.
We've got here an exercise, which
Vocabulary.
is complete the following statements with words in the box. Yes,
Yes,
Mr.
the
Hassan.
words in the box are disease, peace, improved, predict, replaces, and obvious. Number 1, it's difficult to what the long-term effects of the accident will be. It's difficult to predict what the long-term effects of the accident will be. Number 2, the weather towards the evening, the weather improved towards the evening. Number 3, his father suffers from a heart disease. His father suffers from a heart disease. Number 4, the way of reducing pollution is to use cars less. And the answer here is obvious. The obvious way of reducing pollution is to use cars less. Number 5, the country is at with its neighbors for the first time in years. The country is at peace with its neighbors for the first time in years. Number 6 and last, the new software package, the old one. The new software package replaces the old one.
Thank you, Mr. Hussam. And here we come to the advice that told us about Ms. Nagam, that
Exactly.
we have to know the
Yes.
meaning through context. So if the students know the meaning of the words through context in our text, they can just replace the words here with other sentences and use them correctly in this
Exactly.
exercise.
Especially when it is when they are repeated more than once. First they are in the text, then they are in this exercise. So it will be easier for them to memorize them.
So
This
Mr.
is
Hussam,
this is the
yes?
soul. This is the soul of the action-oriented approach, which is the approach of our book or series IMAR. It's action-oriented approach, and this is one of the techniques used in this approach.
And one of the tasks that just employ the words
Exactly.
in the text
According
and
to the
in
text.
the
Yes, yes.
drills as well.
Or
Thank you
according
so
to the
much.
context, exactly.
According to the context. Thank
Yes.
you. Grammar. Our today's grammar is about be, going to, and will, which talks about future, which is our title in the reading text as well as
Yes,
in
of course,
grammar.
in the grammar.
Yes, Ms. Nagam, can we start with will, please?
Okay, for the future, of course, when we talk about the future, we have two main ideas to talk about. First, you may talk about what you think will happen in the future, so about the predictions, or you may talk about plans for the future. So for every one of them, of course, we need a certain form of the future to express either plan or prediction.
So if we
let's
start with will,
first,
yes.
Let's start first with will. All right, we use will to talk about prediction, but with no evidence, something we're not sure at all about. Okay, so we are just giving a prediction for the future. I think Brazil will win the next World Cup. So when we say with no evidence, it means with no signs in the present that tell us whether this will surely happen or not.
No evidence.
So
Okay.
here we've got prediction with no evidence.
No evidence.
Now I'm in the weather forecast. I'm telling the students that today it will rain because I have no evidence. I'm just in the weather forecast and I'm telling them that it will rain.
Yes.
But if we've got here something which is in front of us, what
We'll
shall
see
I
what-
say?
Yes,
we will see
use-
later.
Yes. Number two, it's for a decision, but pay attention, it's a decision taken at the moment of speaking, an immediate decision. Like, for example, I've spilled coffee on my shirt. Oh, I'll change it. So I take the decision at the time of speaking, not before that, not before this time.
So you spilled
yes.
the coffee and you decided at the moment.
Something suddenly happened, and I suddenly also decide something. So it's at the time of speaking, and I say, I will, right?
Thank you.
And for going to, we use it to talk about predictions about the future when we have evidence. So this is the difference here between will and going to, the main differences. So when we have evidence in front of us, we use going to, and this is mainly for a very near future, because for the far future you can never be sure. Present signs may not last for the far future. So present signs may tell me what will happen very soon. So for example, look at the clouds. It's going to rain. So look at the clouds. It means there are lots of clouds in the sky and the sky is too dark. So this is a very strong sign that it's going to rain soon.
So
Alright?
here is the difference. If I'm in the weather forecast and I'm telling the audience that it will rain, here it's different from the evidence which is in front of me, and just I'm seeing now the clouds and I'm saying here that look at the clouds, it's going to rain. There is
Usually
something different.
the forecast is for the second day. Okay, now we have maybe
We
some
have
signs, but
a kind of
they may
prediction.
not. They may not last for tomorrow, but it seems like this, so we say will for tomorrow. But when it is too soon, all right, or very soon,
And the evidence
and
is
the
in
evidence
front
is
of us
very
that the
clear,
clouds
yes, and
are
very
black
strong.
in front of me.
Yes. So, for example, I'm working and I see someone, stepping.
going
So
to
I
fall.
say, he's going to fall. All right. So it's very clear that he's going
It's
to
going
fall.
to fall.
Yes.
That's it. Thank
Number
you.
2, plans or intentions in the future. This is for something that I have decided earlier, not at the time of speaking. It's an earlier decision which changes into a plan for the future. For example, I'm going to visit Aleppo next week. So I intend to visit Aleppo
So here
next
is
week.
a kind of plan,
Yes.
and we have
of course,
to
there are
going
other
to.
forms for the future, but
For today's seminar,
yes, for today's seminar, or in this unit, we only have will and
going to. And for
Yes.
ninth graders,
Yes.
they have to know the difference between will and going
going
to,
to.
as will for predictions or decisions which are taken at the moment of speaking. Concerning going to, we've got predictions with evidence and, of course, plans or intentions in the future. Thank you, Ms. Nagam.
Thanks.
An exercise about be going to or will. Look at the text on page 21 of the textbook and complete the following sentences with the correct form of be going to or will. Yes, miss?
Okay, shall I do it?
Yes.
Okay. Just to remind the students that these sentences are related to the text, so they are solved as in the text.
They have
Okay.
to take a look at
Yes.
the text and
Yes.
do
Okay.
the exercise.
Number 1, futurologists predict that life probably be very different in all the fields of life. Here, it's very important for the student to notice some words. They are sometimes keywords. Here we have the word predict. So the word predict, it gives opinion, or it's similar to think. Okay, they think, they believe. So when we see these words, it's better to use will. So futurologists predict that life will probably be very different in the fields, in all the fields of life. Number 2, scientists and researchers find a cure to many diseases like AIDS and cancer. In the text, for this information, we have some evidence. So it is are going to.
Are going to.
But maybe if this sentence is not from the text, they can write will. But here, this exercise is related to the text.
So here, students, just pay attention that intentions or plans, we
Yes,
have going
yes.
to.
Okay.
Predictions, we've got will.
Yes.
Thank you.
Or maybe, yes, as you said, it might be here a reference to what scientists or researchers intend to do in the future. Number 3, I think that life in the future, think, for sure, it's will, in the text and outside the text. I think that life in the future will be easy and comfortable. Number 4, world peace in the text is going to spread everywhere because we have evidence, because everyone has everything he needs.
So here we use
this is
going
our strong
to.
prediction for the future.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Mr. Hussam, can we do this exercise? Select the correct answer about also going to and will.
Sure. Okay, number 1. Amal has bought a new book. Tonight, she is going to stay at home and start reading it. We have chosen is going to because Amal has previously decided to read this book. It's an intention for Amal, okay? It's not.
And it's not an
It's
immediate
not a
decision.
sudden decision, and it's not a prediction, okay?
It's not what we think, it's what she wants to do.
Yes,
Yes.
it's her intention, exactly.
Yes.
Thank you. Number 2, the phone is ringing. This is a sudden decision to answer the telephone here, and the answer is I'm going to answer it. Then there is no previous intention here. It's just a sudden decision. I have decided, or I decide to answer the
So the
telephone.
answer is will.
Yes, at the moment of speaking now. 3, I'm not free tomorrow. I see the doctor. I'm going to see the doctor. It's an intention.
An intention
I have
here.
planned previously to see a doctor.
To see a doctor.
I have decided on the appointment. I called the doctor's clinic and I have decided to go there.
And it's not sudden.
Yes, it's not sudden, exactly. Number 4, we forgot to buy bread. Oh, we were in the market and we forgot to buy bread. So we will go back to buy some. We have
Because,
taken a sudden decision
Because
or
at
have
the
made-
moment of
have made
speaking,
a
we
sudden decision
forgot
to go there and to buy some bread. Yes, exactly. Number 5, she is so tired. She needs some rest or some rest. I think she will take a week off. I think maybe she will not decide this, okay? Maybe she is going to go on working without stop, even if she needs a rest. So I predict, I think she will take
a week
a
off.
week off.
Thank you. Another exercise, complete the sentences with will or with the correct form of be going to.
Dealing with the verbs in brackets, okay? Number 1, do you want to go with us next Saturday? We attend a football match. Here, we have decided previously to attend this match. We bought the tickets and we are ready to go there, and we want you. Maybe we have got an extra ticket and we want you to go with us. Okay? Then we are going to go there. If we are asking if you are or if you like to go with us. Do you want to go with us next
And here
Saturday?
we can stop, okay, Mr. Hussam, just for the form, because when we put going to, the
We
be
have to,
form,
yes.
we
It's
have to change it.
Yes, we have to put
As-
it in the infinitive, yes, after going to, and even after will. They are going to be in the
Infinitive after will and going to,
Yes.
but I'm talking about be, as am,
According to the
is,
subject, we have to
are.
there is something which is called subject-verb agreement. Okay, we are, I am, he, she, it is. Okay,
Thank you.
I,
So
we, you,
this is the
yes.
correct form, as I am going to.
I am going to, he, she, it
is going to,
and we, you,
and
they,
we, you, they as
are
are going to,
Yes.
plus the
plus
infinitive.
the infinitive of the verb.
Concerning will, here we've got will plus the infinitive.
Exactly.
And this is the form of the future, concerning will and going to.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Hussam.
Number 2, we come. Number 2, the weather be dreadful tomorrow. It's just a prediction here. I think, okay, I predict that the weather will be dreadful tomorrow.
Again, concerning the form of the future, we've got will
Plus infinitive,
be,
exactly.
which
Number
is
3,
infinitive.
I lift that heavy box for you. Here, when I see you carrying something very heavy
is
for
heavy.
you, and especially that you are a lady,
Yes,
I'm
of
not
course.
going to let you carry it exactly like this. I decide suddenly to help you and not to let you carry it alone, or
Because it's heavy,
yes,
so
it's
you
heavy for
decided
you. Yes,
immediately
exactly.
that I will lift.
I will lift the heavy box for you. Number 4, tonight we have a birthday party for our mother. Then we have decided to have a party for our mother previously, and we have prepared many things, the cake, the balloons, the banners, and something like this. And this is a plan. We have planned this previously. Then we are going to use are going to. We are going to have a birthday party for our mother. Number 5, I think our team win the match. Exactly, I'm not so sure that our team is going to win the match, but I think,
We hope
and
so.
I hope, yes, I hope that our team will win the match.
So I think our team will win the match, and this is prediction.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Now we move to the listening part. We've got here 2 people talking about the future. Of course, in our class, we have to put the audio script for the students. They listen for the first time and then do the task. Then we can again put the audio script for the second time, and students listen and do the task for specific details. So first of all, they listen for general information, do the exercise, and then listen for the second time and look for the specific details in the audio script and do the exercise in front of them. Here, Ms. Nagam, can you tell us about the exercises concerning the listening script here in the Unit 3?
Okay, it's about 2 people talking about the future. One of them is telling us what will happen in the world.
For
So
example,
we can just do the exercises. Decide if the following sentences are true or false. For example, in the future, India will be the first largest economy in the world.
So students here are supposed to hear the audio
Yes.
script and then do the exercise. If it
Yes.
is true, they put it as true, or if it is false, they put it as false.
That's it.
Thank you
and
so much.
when they listen for the second time, they check their answers.
Exactly.
Okay.
So they
Yes,
first
they check their
listen,
answers
do
and they change what they think needs to be
the
changed.
exercise, and then check
Okay.
it for
so,
them.
Is it?
Is the audio available, mister? Can we just
I think
give it a
so.
try? Okay. The next one, miss, choose the correct answer. The world will have a lot of problems with pollution, energy, infection.
and infection. It's
Again-
pollution, and it's the same. They just circle quickly for the first time the answers.
Just give it a try. Just put here play.
Listen to Steve and Lisa talking about the future and then do the tasks. Steve, I think a lot of things will change in the future. India will be the first largest economy in the world, replacing China. India will have many problems with its demographics. The world will also have a lot of problems with the pollution and the climate changing. We will need to find other resources because there will be more than 9 billion people on Earth. Lisa, our world will not be the same in the future. We will improve our technology, and everybody will be able to speak at least 5 languages. People will live peacefully, and different countries will not have nuclear weapons. We will be able to explore the space and to find other planets where people can live.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now, if you want to do the exercise, miss, decide if the following sentences are true or false. In the future, India will be the first largest economy in the world.
Yes, this is true, and it will replace China.
Thank you. China will have many problems with its demographics.
This is false.
false.
And the word demographics means issues related to the population. So no, this is false because India will
India.
have many problems with its demographics.
The world population will be more than 9 billion people.
This is correct.
That's right. And different countries will have nuclear weapons.
This is wrong because different countries will not have nuclear weapons.
Thank you. And the next one, choose the correct answer. The world will have a lot of problems with A, pollution, B, energy, C, infection.
This is A, pollution.
Thank you. Number 2, people will need to find other medicines, resources, languages in the future.
Of course, resources because of the growing population.
That's right. Number 3, in the future, people will live peacefully, fearfully, or sadly.
No, it's peacefully.
Peacefully.
We hope.
Yes,
People
we hope
will-
so.
We hope so. People will explore the space to find new energy, planets, creatures.
And new planets, maybe to find a new
Yeah,
energy
yeah.
On those planets. But
We
in the
hope
text,
so.
it's planets.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Now, pronunciation, Mr. Hussam. We've got eh and e sounds.
Okay.
Here we've got
Okay.
Eh and
we are
E
going
as
to read the
pairs of
pairs.
words.
Yes, below, and listen to the difference between the sounds eh and e. First of all, we have to differentiate between these two sounds. The first one, eh, is short vowel, and the other one, which is e, is a long vowel. We are going first to read the first column, which contain the sound eh. The first word is men, red, met, led, set, fell, wet, hell, ten, and peck. The second column is read just like this: mean, read, meet, lead, seat, feel, wheat, heel, teen, and peak. Now I'm going to read them in pairs. Men, mean, read, read, met, meet, led, lead, set, seat, fell, feel, wet, wheat, hell, heel, 10, teen, peck, peak.
Thank you, Mr. Hussam. So here, the main difference is that E
Short
is
and long.
a short vowel and E as a long
Yes.
vowel.
May I just say something here?
Yes, please.
Sometimes students should notice that the sounds, like for example this E, when they read the real letters, the real vowels, for example mean, it's M-E-A. So they need to learn which vowels go together to form this sound. Okay, E-A for example sometimes and not all the times. So it is a long sound which consists of maybe of more than one letter.
So
right,
you mean
Mr.
that
Hussam?
the spelling,
Right, exactly. Just
Yes.
a moment,
the
please.
spelling of the word itself.
I have got what somehow a rule which says if two
Vowels go together.
go together, the first vowel does the talking and the other vowel does the walking.
Yes.
Okay,
That's
exactly. Yes,
Yes,
just like
exactly.
So read, what he means, read, for example, it's R-E-A-D. So the
We
A
did
is
the
not
first one.
pronounced at all. E takes the sound and it gets longer. That's what you mean, right?
that. Exactly.
Okay.
And here, so the students should differentiate between the short vowel and the long vowel according to the spelling of the word itself.
Yes.
So as you've said, that mean we've got here E, A, and students should recognize that here I have to say long E
Yes.
as read, mean, meet. So
Right.
it's here
Of
prolonged
course, there are
and as
sometimes
long E.
exceptions for this. For example, the
Exactly.
word read itself.
Sorry, I
When
have.
in the past,
In the
I've
past, yes.
said somehow a rule.
yes.
I have
Somehow
said
a rule.
somehow
No,
a rule. Yes,
Your rule
exactly.
is correct,
It's
but
not
every
exact.
rule has
An
exceptions.
exception.
Yes.
So we are not misleading them. Well, they just need to learn the rule and the exceptions. That's
Yes.
what I mean. So read itself, when it's in the past, it changes to a short E. It's read.
That's
The
right.
same word, the
So
same spelling,
Every
right?
rule has an exception, and
Yes,
this is
they
the
need to
exception.
learn the rule and the exceptions.
In short,
That's
in
what
short,
you mean.
Thank you, thank you.
May I add something?
Yes,
please?
of course.
In short, we pronounce sounds, not letters. We pronounce sounds, not letters.
Yes.
The students are looking at the letters, but when we speak, when we talk, we pronounce sounds. Not letters. Okay? Exactly.
Now
the next
we've
exercise.
got an exercise.
Yes, listen to the following words and put them in the right place in the table. We have got egg, deal, seal, vent, lend, need, tell, bed, feet, beef, end, week, net, meat, evil, evil, and check. Now we are going to classify them according to the short vowel A. We have got egg, vent, lend, tell, bed, end, net, and check.
All of them has got the got the sound eh, as
Short vowel.
vowel.
Yes, exactly. The second list, deal, long E, deal, seal, need, feet, beef, week, meat, and evil.
So here we've got the long E.
Yes, the long E.
Thank you. Now we move to writing. Ms. Nagam, here we've got the writing skill as the title, My Life in 20 Years' Time.
Yes.
Can we have a look at the paragraph here? We've got an exercise which says that complete the following paragraph with the appropriate conjunctions from the box. And we've got because, but, so, and to put
And.
them
Sorry,
in the...
may I interrupt you
Yes.
just a
Yes,
second?
please.
We can consider this exercise as a pre-writing. A pre-writing
Yes.
exercise.
Because it
exactly.
helps the students
Yes,
to
it
put
helps
the
them-
correct conjunction
Yes,
here.
exactly.
Okay, my life in 20 years' time. In 20 years' time, I'll be over 30 years old. I'll be married and we will have 2 children. I will have a good job. I'll be an English teacher because it's my favorite subject. We will have a nice house and it will not be very big. Okay, nice and not very big, maybe there is contradiction. So here, but it will not be very big. We will spend a lot of time playing with our children. I'm interested in music because I will have a wonderful music collection. We will only get our music from the internet. I will play traditional folk songs very well. So I'm learning them now.
Thank you, Ms. Naam. So now, if we talk about each conjunction, and when we use it first as I will be married and will have 2 children.
Okay.
Here, what is the function of and in the sentence?
It's to join 2 similar ideas together, or ideas or sentences that go and serve the same idea. So I'll be married and I will have, or we will have, children. Okay.
So here we have 2 ideas that are the same, and I just
Yes,
make
we
this
are
kind
linking
of
them together
linking
in
between
one
them.
sentence.
Thank you.
Yes.
What about I will be an English teacher because it's my favorite subject?
Okay. So this is a reason.
When I want to put because.
Yes, because gives us a reason. We usually use after because the reason for something we will do or we are doing or we did in the past. So it's a reason and a result. Okay.
So when
I
we
love
got
music,
reason and result,
so here comes the function of so. It's the opposite. So I'll be an English teacher because I love English, or I love English, so I'll be an English teacher.
And
A
this is
consequence,
the
here
a
function
is
result.
of
yes.
consequence. Thank you,
Yes.
Mr. Hussam. And what about but?
But of course gives us
In the sentence,
in the
we
sentence
will have
here.
a nice house, but it will not be very big.
Okay, because usually when you say a nice house, most people think that nice houses should be big. So here I say I'll have a nice house, which is a positive quality. Then I say it will not be very big, which is supposed to be a negative quality. So I use but.
And
so
this is the
contradictory.
function of the
but.
conjunction, but in the
Okay,
sentence.
it is to
Join.
join 2 sentences which have contradictory or different ideas, or sometimes paragraphs. We sometimes use but or however for paragraphs with contradictory ideas.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Ms.
much.
Nahal. Workbook. Now we've got a reading text about living in space. Again, we've got a text. Someday, people will live in space. By the end of this century, there will be permanent settlements that will allow people to lead a normal life in space. Hundreds of astronauts are going to work and live in the space station, which will take 10 years to build. In some way, living on the moon will be easier than living on a space station, and it will be cheaper because people want to bring everything from the Earth by rockets. The space city will be like a gigantic glass wheel that will contain buildings, factories, and special meeting places. Inside it, people won't live differently from small towns on the Earth, and it will have air so that inhabitants can breathe and they won't need to wear special space suits inside the buildings. Scientists also believe that they will obtain water from a large ice lake on the moon. People won't have to do housework because robots will do that for them. Food won't be a problem as settlers won't need to eat. Instead, they will take a pill 3 times a day. The first group of astronauts will live on the moon for 6 months, and then they will return to the Earth and another group will travel. This will be repeated until the first settlers can finish establishing the new city. Life on the moon will be just the beginning. We hope they will use the knowledge we get there to plan expeditions to Mars, Mercury, or even Pluto.
Thank you.
Mr. Hussam, as we've said in the textbook, that we've got a reading text. The purpose of reading is for comprehension.
Yes.
After reading for comprehension, we've got keywords that help us in understanding the main idea of the text. Of course, we've got techniques, as we've said before, skimming, scanning
and
of
for
the
details.
text, just to understand the main idea and the details of the text.
Right.
What are the keywords here, Mr.
The
Hassan?
keywords.
Can you
The
help
first
us?
one is settlement, which is a new place to live in. When people build a new place to live in, maybe a city, a town, or even in the space, in the outer space, it's called a settlement. The second one is a rocket, which is a vehicle or vehicle used for traveling or carrying astronauts into space. It's specialized for this task, to take
people
out to the outer
To
space.
the outer space.
Gigantic, which means very big or huge, or large, very large. Obtain, as the same meaning of get, it's a verb here. And expedition, which is an organized journey with a particular purpose.
So again, students here, dear students, the keywords help us in understanding the text, but it's better to just understand the meaning of the words in context, through context. We can read the words, and if we didn't get the idea, we can just look at the keywords or even look at the dictionary, look for the words in the dictionary, just to check certain meaning for certain words.
Yes.
That help us in just understanding, but through context.
Here, after the text, we have got keywords. Because during reading, the student may ask himself, what does this word mean? I know it in that meaning. Does it the same here? Does it do the same task or the same meaning here? Then we have put the keywords after the text to answer the questions that the student may ask himself about.
And
Okay?
if the student just got another word that is not clear for him, he can check the dictionary and
Exactly.
look for the meaning or exact
Exactly.
meaning in English for the certain word that he didn't get the idea of it. Thank
Yes.
you so much.
The next one is questions, comprehension questions about the text. Answer the following questions. Number one, how will people live on the moon? And the answer is, they will live in a space city. Sure, they can't live on the moon without any preparation for this.
So we need a space
Yes, a
city
space
here.
city, yes. Number two, how long will each group stay in the space city? The first group of astronauts will live on the moon for 6 months, and then they will return to the Earth and another group will travel. They can't stay for a long time there. Maximum 6 months, then they are going to return and another group of people are going to leave the Earth to live there outside the atmosphere. Number three, when will people live on the moon? When the first settlers, and the answer is when the first settlers can finish establishing the new city. We have answered the first question saying they will live in a space city. Then the settlers are going to finish building or establishing the settlement, and then people can go there. And when the settlers finish establishing the new city, people can live on the moon. 4. Where will people in that space take water from? As you have just read in the text, they will obtain water from a large ice lake on the moon. Okay, water there will be in the shape of ice. Yes, because
space
it's
is
too cold.
Too
Yes,
cold in
exactly.
space.
These are the questions.
Thank you so much. So here the comprehension questions are connected with the text. Students should read carefully and understand the whole idea. Then they can answer the questions. So again, the
This
purpose
is
of reading.
in class, but in the exam the questions will be different, of course.
Of course.
The
and-
multi-choice.
Yes, it will be
Multiple
multiple
choice.
choices or
yes.
just true or false as the
And
second one.
again, it depends on comprehension. So
Yes, of course,
students
they need
here,
to understand. They
they
won't be
need to
able to do any
understand.
exercise without understanding.
So reading for the sake of comprehension, not for the
Yes.
sake of reading aloud.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
This is very
There is
important.
no reading without purpose.
Yes, of course.
Any reading is going to be based on an aim, a goal. Why are we reading? We are going to read for comprehension. We are going to read to know the answers of the questions, to get information, for details, to scan, to skim. But without goals, there is no reading. What's the purpose?
What
the
is
goal?
the purpose
Okay.
of just reading aloud? No purpose.
Any task has a goal or a purpose.
Thank
yes.
you. Yes, Ms. Nagam, please B, decide if the following statements are true or false and correct the false ones.
Okay. Number one, nowadays it is possible for people to live on the moon. This is false. So we correct it saying nowadays it is impossible for people to live on the moon because, of course, in order to live on the moon, they need preparations. As it is said in the text, they need to build first a city there, then take people
So the
there.
idea here of this drill
The
is
city
that
is equipped with everything needed to live in space. So now, no, they can't live. So
students should correct not only saying true or false,
No.
but they have to
correct it in this exercise.
The
On the moon,
sentence.
people will have to wear special clothes. False, on the moon, people won't need to wear special clothes.
class. تمام. Good.
Number three, astronauts will cook on the moon. False, astronauts won't need to eat. They will take a pill 3 times a day, so they don't need to cook. Robots will do the work of the humans. Yes, this is true.
And this is also connected with the text that we talked about in the textbook,
Yes.
that robots may replace teachers
They
or
may replace all human beings.
Yeah, in the field of health, in the field of education. So in the future, we can see maybe just robots that are...
So do you think that human beings will disappear and only robots will live on Earth?
I don't think so, but maybe they replace us.
This is imagination, nobody
in
knows.
Certain,
They don't
in
hope so.
certain fields.
They can't multiply, at least. Yes.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Thank you.
Okay.
Vocabulary, Mr.
Vocabulary,
Hussam.
yes.
Circle the correct words in brackets.
Okay, circle the correct words in brackets. Number one, it's normal to feel nervous before an exam. Here we have to choose normal because it's after the linking verb is. We use adjective after linking verbs. Okay, not adverbs. Normally it's adverb and it's not correct. We have to choose normal. It's
Normal.
normal to feel nervous before an exam.
So
Number
here,
two,
students, Mr. Hussam, can you tell us should differentiate
between the parts of
a
speech.
Thank
Exactly.
you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Okay. Number two, property in Homs is cheaper than property in Damascus. Here we have got a comparative adjective to compare between property in Homs and property in Damascus. And in the property form, you have got a verb to be, adjective plus er plus the preposition than to compare between if the adjective is short.
So here we've got the idea
for
of
long
comparative
adjectives, we
adjectives.
use of, more or less. Number three, then the answer in two is cheaper.
Cheaper.
Yes. Number three, doctors give Hani oxygen to help him breathe. Here the word is a verb. To help him, after help we have an infinitive.
Breathe as a verb.
not
and
breath. Okay?
Breath is a
noun. Yes,
So
exactly.
here we
With the
have to
difference E
differentiate.
at the end of the verb and no E for the noun.
Yes. According to
So-
spelling, it ends with e, with e.
With E.
Yes.
Thank you. So the correct answer is breathe.
Exactly. Yes. Number four, we will need to obtain. Here we have got to, which is followed with an infinitive, and to obtain permission from the teacher if you want to leave the class. You will need to obtain, the verb obtain. Obtained is verb 3 or past participle, and it can't come after to. 5. He has to take pills to control his blood pressure.
Not bills.
Not bills.
Here's
This is
the
vocabulary,
difference.
difference
Yes.
in vocabulary,
Yeah.
in meaning. In
Yes.
meaning.
And in the pronunciation of P
B
and
and
B.
Yes. Number 6, our goal is to establish a new research center in our city.
Again here.
Again, here after to, we have to use
A verb.
verb in the infinitive.
While establishment is a noun.
Establishment,
right.
yes, is a noun. Thank you.
Next, listening. The same thing. We've got a listening script. Students should listen and then do the tasks required from them. Here we've got choose the correct answer, A, B, or C. The same things as we've done now. That listen for the first time, then check your answers for the second time. The same thing another drill for decide the following statements that are true or false concerning the listening script. The final one, Miss Nagam, writing. Imagine how your future house will be and write a paragraph about it. Can you give us hints about writing a paragraph, especially in the exam?
Of course, it's very important for students first to understand the task. The task they are supposed to do, to read carefully what they are supposed to do. Then they should put a plan. First, we will start with an introduction, because the reader, it's not good to give direct information to readers suddenly. So the reader needs to know previously what he wants, what he's going to read. All right? So first, the introduction. The introduction has the main ideas of the topic you are writing. From the introduction, the reader knows what you are going to write about. Okay? Then we move to the paragraphs. It depends on how many ideas he wants to state. And every paragraph actually should have also an introduction, a sentence at the beginning, or maybe 2 sentences as topic sentences, and they have the main idea of the paragraph. So we are also introduced to the paragraph from the first 2 sentences. Then we have subordinate sentences or supporting sentences to explain the idea more, until he finishes his ideas, paragraphs, different paragraphs. Then at the end he arrives to the conclusion. You also can't stop at a sudden, so you need to write a conclusion, which could be just a summary of what you have just said, or sometimes your opinion about the statement we have.
Thank you, Ms. Nagam. Mr. Hussam, anything to add concerning the exam paper, the writing skill, or any other skills?
The exam paper will be according to the sample that the Minister of Education, thank you for, as it was published, according to the instructions of the Ministry of Education, and it will be, I think, generalized on the schools, and all the teachers will know how to form a sample for the text even before the first semi-final exams. Okay, we know that there are 2 texts in the exam. The first one is from the book, and the other is parallel to the text in the books. And then we are going to deal with the use of English, and there will be many questions about this related to grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, and finally the writing part, which is going to be divided into 3 parts. The final one is going to be the composition.
Yes,
the final one is going to be the composition.
Thank you so much, Mr.
You're most
Hussam.
welcome.
At the end of this seminar, let me thank my colleagues who participate in the seminar. Mr. Hussam al-Mahmoud, an English teacher from Tartus Directorate. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Ms. Nagam al-Muhammad, the English teacher from Tartus Directorate. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, dear students. And inshallah, next time, in next seminars, we can introduce something new as Unit 4, and wishing you best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lucy.